guys, welcome back to another one of my nocturnal live streams. And tonight's topic is going to be me answering Google's most searched questions about women. So let's get started with the most popular questions on Google about women. The first question, just like when I did the girls video, is why do women have periods? Well, to keep it basic and simple, that is our punishment for not getting pregnant during that month. So the uterus sort of goes into like a suicidal kind of stage. So it just begins stabbing itself to shed lining, uterine lining, and then that's just the way that you dispose of all that bad stuff. So that question has already been answered on a different stream, so I'm not going to really like dwell on it too much. The second one is why do women douche? And what can I say? It's like I've never really had this stage in my life of being expecting. So I don't know if that's narrowed down to just when you have to douche when you give birth, or if this refers to the normal like liquid that just comes out of there. And it's simple, really. It's because there is an opening and some internal juices just need somewhere to go. So, you know, I'm a woman and I've never really thought about that. I just see that substance and I'm like, okay, this is sticky and it smells funny. And sometimes the scent varies and everything. But I guess it's just the body's way of indicating to you what the conditions are, because you cannot just bust open like your chest or something and your belly and try to diagnose what's going on inside of you. So I feel like this douching has to happen in order, this secretion has to happen in order for you to be able to tell what's going on inside of you before you get opened, you know? Because I feel like nature just knows what it's doing. It's like, since you cannot just unzip your skin to find out what's happening, then nature does not count on doctors and surgeons finding stuff out for you. So she's smart. She's like, let's design the women to have a little um, like mechanism to let them know what's happening. So um, I know that there's different colors, of course, like I just said a moment ago, but I just am not sure if you're supposed to have a specific color come out, like transparent or something. I know that that's pretty much normal, but I'm not sure if you go an entire day without doing it. First of all, is that even possible? And second of all, if that doesn't happen, is there something wrong with you? So I just think that it's just the body's way of also just naturally flushing out any bad stuff. Um, like yeast infections are popular. So I want to say that in a sense, that's the way of the body just flushing out that bad stuff. The third question is why do women wear hijabs? Hijabs. um, well, this doesn't really apply to every woman universally, but there are some countries that have a culture to where it's considered appropriate for women to just cover themselves up. It's like everybody has their own cultural habits, cultural things. So, on some cultures, it's just considered inappropriate to be showing too much or too little. Just like in the States, um, it's considered rude and what is it? Just inappropriate to be showing a certain amount of skin. So when it comes to the hijab, I'm not really sure about it, because I don't wear it, and when I see someone wearing it, I used to think of it as, oh, it's just they're protecting themselves from the weather. Because I would notice them wearing them 24/7. So I'm like, okay, during the summertime, it makes sense because um, you want to protect yourself from the sun's harmful rays. But also in the winter, it's just a way of keeping you warm. So I genuinely thought throughout my life until like maybe a few years ago when I started studying or just hearing other people from different cultures what they have to say, I had no idea that it was a religious thing. So yeah, I don't know what to say on that one. I know that it's typically associated with the Muslim religion, but I'm not sure what that veiling is like all about. So I could click on the link and then find out, but the idea is for me to answer them with what I know. So I'm not going to do that. But but yeah, um, I can't say I've ever worn one, and I'm not sure if it's appropriate for someone who's not Muslim to be wearing it. So, anyways, the fourth question is why do women wear makeup? Well, in my personal opinion, it's just a big ass insecurity that women have. But to be accurate, it's just that women care about their appearance and makeup is a way of enhancing their looks. Like sometimes you just cannot get your skin to be flawless, so you try to conceal the impurities by wearing makeup. So if you have a foundation and then powder on top of you, you can sort of like hide pimples. And also, some people suffer from an uneven skin complexion. Like you may be discolored on some sides and some spots just be darker than others. Or maybe you just party really hard and you don't catch your Z's. So that takes its toll on the body, and some people suffer from it more than others. So I guess makeup just exists for the people who think that there's something wrong with them, with the way they look, so they feel compelled to correct it. I'm not. I can't relate. I don't even pay attention to changes unless it's something extreme. Like the only times I've had discoloration on my skin, it was from getting sunburnt. Um, but but when it comes to just freaking out over the fact that I'm not even, I just don't have time for that, So I cannot speak for every woman that this is what they do, but some people do get paid for doing this. So I respect them either way, but I just do not like it when it is expected of me to do what other women do. So in my family, except for my mother, everybody expects for me to have my face just caked up with makeup. And I'm like, no, I don't like it. I don't want to spend the time with it. I don't like how it feels over my skin. It's like a constant blanket, and if something falls on my eye, I like to be able to address it by splashing water on my face. I know on another video I shared a story of a coworker who was whining to me about having an eyelash in her eye, and I'm like, go to the sink and, you know, um, splash water in your face. And she's like, well, I can't because I have makeup on, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh yeah, the problems that I'll never relate to. Sorry. So, anyways, that's all I have to say on that one. And then, why do women wear bras? Well, I believe that I have answered this question already as well, but it's very simple. As an active person, the last thing that you want is to be jogging and for your material to just hit you. That, and it's not a good sensation of these things that are protruding from your chest and then they're just like bouncing. It's just not a fun sensation when you're violently hitting the ground and they move with the just vibrations and everything. It's just not a fun experience. So some many centuries ago, they thought about, it really sucks to be a woman and for this thing to be moving around so much. How can I keep it still? So someone just thought about, what if I could apply a belt in the same manner that I can put a belt around pants or something, or guys do that? Then how about if I have a belt for these things that cannot hold themselves together? And that's how the bra came about, and that's why it's important to wear. I personally have moments when I don't wear them, like for sleeping, because it tends to really, really chafe your skin. So there are times in which it's just awesome to skip it. So I like to skip it whenever I'm on my off days or just not physically active. So I'm trying to think if that applies currently, but I cannot say that's the case because I just came from being out and about. So yeah, a sister needed to keep her stuff together, but you better believe that before bedtime, it's gonna be gone. Um, why do women talk so much? So I completely dedicated a video to this about why females repeat themselves. So I guess it's pretty applicable to this one. But what I have to say on that one is that I guess as individuals who are like emotional and really like mentally, we cannot quiet our thoughts. I guess it's consistent. Um, like we just like to be heard. We have so much to say. In a sense, I feel like it's our responsibility to be sharing stories, telling stories. I feel like our retention tends to be a little better than our male counterparts. Because trust me, anytime I tell a guy to remember specific details of a day, they're like, how do you remember so much? I don't remember anything. Like, my boyfriend, he doesn't have a terrible memory, but I want to say that there is some stuff that I definitely have retained better than him. And then the way he explains it is I didn't think that I had to remember that. I don't consider that important. So I make room to remember more important things. And I'm like, well, I have things that I believe that I got to remember that are important. Like, I remember a lot of stuff that I learned in school and who I learned it from and what grade I was in and all those little insignificant details. So I guess my expectations of other people's retention are to be either the same or to exceed mine. But I guess some people just have better retention than other people. It's just strange. So when you're someone who is like a sponge and you retain a lot of information, your instinct is to share it. So as someone who is incredibly analytical, incredibly curious, and just loving to share stories, I guess that's why as a woman, if I'm tight with you and comfortable and I'm close with you, I won't know how to stop. Um, During my teenage years, I used to email a lot, so I could send incredibly lengthy emails. They would take me anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour to compose, and yeah, when I would copy and paste them into a Word document and add an 11 point font, they usually would occupy between 10 to 12-ish pages. So I think that's a considerable length. So, anyways, I just think it's our nature to just speak because we pay attention to detail, whether it's important details or not. So, something about just talking and sharing is a part of us. Maybe that's our way of keeping our brain stimulated because of the kinds of labor that we do that do not demand too much of us physically. So mentally, we demand a lot of ourselves. That's I've never thought about it really. I've never thought of myself as someone loquacious like that. So I'll have to think about that one. If I think of anything substantial to add, I may revisit that topic on a separate video, but really I sometimes am on the quiet side, um, especially on a public setting. But if you're on a one-on-one with me, trust me, I can sustain a convo. But if you think that I'm just talking too much, just say something. Don't just nod at me and be completely disinterested, because if I'm sharing something with you, then I expect for you to be interested. It's okay. You don't have to be interested in the same things I am, but I would like to feel valued for what I have to say. So, anyways, but I feel like I'm not as emotionally attached like that as I used to, so I don't get offended anymore. But back in my younger days, yeah, to me it was a big deal if someone did not remember stuff like I did, or if someone could not discuss matters with me deeply and all that. So, but now I'm past that. So, I just let people be themselves. And I know that not everybody is going to be challenging for me in the same manner that I won't be able to keep up with what everybody is saying. So, anyways, just don't be too sensitive about it. This one says, why do women, I guess those three dots, crave? Let me let me type it in so that I can see the whole thing. Okay, yeah, it says, why do women crave chocolate? Well, in my personal experience, I can relate to this. I am a chocolate lover. So if I had to answer that, I would say it's because depending on the kind of chocolate that you're getting, there is the bitter chocolate, there's the extremely sweet chocolate, there's milk chocolate, there's dark chocolate, there's chocolate with strawberries, chocolate with cherries, chocolate with blueberries, chocolate with cranberries, chocolate with hazelnuts, chocolate with toffee, which is my way to go. My all time favorite chocolate bar always includes chocolate and coconut. So the best one I've had is chocolate, coconut, and toffee. So all of those things together. And just like my all time favorite milkshake is chocolate and coconut. So I guess the craving for it comes from the fact that chocolate, it has like a really relaxing effect. They even say out there that chocolate can give you the same um, after effect as making love. And I'm like, I cannot necessarily say that, but I can see where people are coming from, because honestly, if I ever say I want candy, I'm always thinking about chocolate. So I guess it's just the way we're wired to. We may like the sweetness of it, the relaxing aspect of it. Because I feel like as a woman, given that we are emotional creatures like that, it could be very challenging to find a stress relief. So maybe this little wonder exists in nature to aid us with that. I never thought about that. I never thought about why I'm such a chocolate lover. I just thought that I just have a taste for it. But anyways, why do women get chin hairs? Aha. Well, this it is my understanding that it has a lot to do with hormone imbalances. I tend to have a few, like I have a few stray ones. Sometimes if you see me picking at it or doing like a picking type of motion, that's exactly what I'm doing, because they just feel weird. But yeah, it's commonly associated with a hormone imbalance. So hair just grows on you in places that it's not supposed to grow at, because you're producing apparently more of the male hormone as opposed to the female hormone. So I'm not sure how true that is, but to me it just makes sense, because to me a hormone imbalance is like some kind of mutation. As a woman, I'm supposed to be producing more estrogen, but I can see how a hormone imbalance is going to throw everything out of proportion for you. In the same manner that um, if you have, if you tend to shed a lot as a woman, that's also a sign of a hormone imbalance. So, in other words, your body is just confused. It's like, oh, I'm a girl, but I'm identifying more of this other hormone. So, what should I do? So, it kind of goes haywire and it doesn't know where to distribute the hairs to. So maybe that's why you randomly end up with them like on your face, on your chin, and all those other places that as a girl you don't like to see hair at, but life happens. Why do women wear high heels? Because they apparently have an inferiority complex about their height. Nah, just kidding. Honestly, it's because heels are apparently associated as being something that's attractive and captivating, and it makes you look more mature, and something about adding a couple of inches to your height makes you somehow gain respect. But yeah, usually I hear guys say that they like when women wear heels. I never wear heels. I tried wearing them 2 years ago for a date, but I nearly killed myself going down the stairs of my house. So I said, you know what? This is not a good sign. I don't need to be wearing heels. I'm always thinking about what if an emergency happens? What if I need to run? What if there are stairs? What if there are no sidewalks? What if I have to walk on grass? Am I going to endanger myself just for the name of fashion and for the name of giving an image of something that I am not? No. So, yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say. And then the last one is, why do women die during childbirth? Huh. I don't know about that entirely, but if I had to guess, it's probably because there are occasions in which women are more, some women have a greater, um, uh, what's the word? Greater likelihood of being prone to medical complications if they are overweight, have problems with their um, blood pressure, if they have trouble regulating their sugar. Some people get something called gestational diabetes, and it's just diabetes that happens when um, when you're expecting. Why does that happen? I don't know. I've never researched it, and I should because it's something that I was interested in learning about. But anyways, I had someone in my family actually. I never met this person, but mom told me about it, and it's she had this person had trouble with their blood pressure, and when they were in childbirth, her and the baby ended up dying because they had a complication. So um, I want to say that's what it is. Some women are just particularly vulnerable. So if you have a pre-existing condition such as diabetes, high blood pressure, or anything like that, then it can be difficult. When you're giving birth, it's like a very intense process. Like your body is producing varying levels of chemicals, and also um, you're applying different kinds of pressures physically, like on your abdomen, on your ribs, and all that. So even your blood vessels are being shifted around, and your organs are being shifted around because you have a child growing inside of you. So I guess sometimes something just happens to where something gets misaligned, or um, something just happens, and there's some women who are more vulnerable to that, or some women just don't have the resistance of all of those factors coming together. So, yeah, um, I've never really looked that up. And what's funny about me seeing this today is that I asked mom about that. I'm like, Mom, I know this is completely random, but what's the medical reason why kids get a C section? And then she mentioned something about sometimes women may be at high risk because of their just conditions. So the doctor may decide to just remove the baby by cutting you open, and because a vaginal delivery may seem challenging or too much for your body to handle. And I'm like, well, do you think that women just have lost touch of how to woman because of modern days. Like, you just aren't educated enough, or you just lost touch with what it's like to be a woman. And then she said that could be it. So anyway, she told me that sometimes a C-section is performed to prevent medical complications that may get out of control. And that's when she shared that we had like a cousin of some sort who died while giving birth from high blood pressure. So yeah. Well, guys, that concludes this little session. Honestly, none of these questions were that new compared to the video of why do girls do something something, which is a bummer because I wish that they were a little different. But at least I can say that I have gone over this and filmed this. So anyways, I know someone was posting some comments. So about time. You look like you went out and had a good time. Women shouldn't even dish. The body cleans itself. Having to dish is not needed. Y'all stuff does its magic. Summer's Eve. Women are bringing back the Raleigh movement. It's good. You don't have to wear them during sleeping or not active. Yep. All right, guys. This is it, really. So, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.